What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, here, as always, with my co-hosts, John, Luke, and Josh. We are joined today, though, by a special guest for Mock Draft Monday. We've got Lance here from the Game Time Sports Podcast. How's it going, Lance? We're glad to have you here.
It's good. It's going really well. You know, nothing's better than Monday because it's always Mock Monday.
Always Mock Monday.
Honestly, that's the only good thing about Monday in my mind.
Yeah, I know. Look, everyone hates Monday, but fantasy football Mock Monday makes it the best.
Yes.
That's what I like to
Fresh
hear.
haircut, fresh mock. We're good to go.
Oh, yes.
Dude, I've just been sitting here like having so much haircut envy this whole time. As soon as you said you got a haircut today, I was like, God, I really want my haircut right
Why
now.
am I so ugly?
Simon really does get that way with haircuts.
It's getting so moppy.
It's
I
so
know.
weird about his hair.
You should have seen mine. You should have seen mine. I honestly was wearing a toque everywhere. Even when if anyone came by to see me for a second, I had my toque on. I didn't want anyone to see my hair. It was really bad.
Oh, look, turn around.
1 second, I'm not ready. No, that's awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. It is Mock Draft Monday, like we said. And today, guys, we are doing something a little bit different than we've done. We are going to do a standard league draft, redraft. I don't know how many of you still play in standard leagues, but I realize we hadn't done one. And it does change how you draft a little bit.
A lot of people still do.
So I'm going to throw the link in the chat for those of you who want to join. There's still, how many spots do we have left? 4 spots left in this draft. So once we fill those up, we will get going. What's up, Swamp? Who that?
What up,
Swamp gives you a shout out. He said, hello, Lance.
How you doing, Swamp?
Hello, Lance.
And TZ says, what's up? Is this Z2, you think? Coming in here on Twitch now. We got YouTube.
There's a Z and a 2 in there. So I'm going to take a guess and say yeah.
No, I think Z2 has his own Twitch account. He doesn't need to borrow someone else's.
You're probably right.
Swamp said doing good. Guys, before we jump into the draft, there was a little bit of news today. It doesn't necessarily directly affect fantasy because it was a defensive player, but it's pretty big news. JJ Watt has signed with the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, boy.
My initial reactions are just as a Browns fan, I was just very disappointed. I was getting real excited about the idea of JJ Watt and Myles Garrett together on that same line, but it's okay. What about you guys? Any initial thoughts about this move?
As a Ravens fan, I was actually pretty happy because I was just happy to see him out of the AFC. Going to an NFC team, the Cardinals, he's going to improve that defense a lot. The Cardinals are going to be – oh, God, no.
Give it back.
Erica, give it back.
I did it. I did it to myself, right?
Josh,
I do want it back, though.
I don't think it's arrived yet, but you do have something coming in the mail.
Ricky says IDP guys are freaking out that you said it doesn't really matter for fantasy. Yeah, sorry. I meant it doesn't matter for offensive fantasy. Lance, I don't know how big you are into IDP, but we've had a bunch of requests for IDP drafts, and I feel like we just aren't informed enough to like even do that on stream. Do you play any IDP?
I haven't played any IDP. I would love to get into it, but I personally my other co-host, he actually does IDP and he's good at it, but I'm personally not good at it myself.
Yeah, we have one league where there's like a couple defensive positions thrown in there, and it's just a train wreck. Yeah, all it does is add chaos to the league.
And you know who's in that league? The one and only Tim Chaos.
Yeah,
so it's right.
If you've watched on Fridays, yeah. Real Deal says JJ Watt on IR leaving the airport.
Real Deal's got the jokes. Let's be honest. He's a funny dude.
Guys, we got 1 spot left in this draft. For those of you in the chat, Swamp gets excited every time you say
spot.
It is the 12th spot, so you can draft on the turn.
Come on, I know you're not working. Claim that 12th spot.
Jordan wants to know if the Cardinals can fix their secondary, though.
I'll say one way to improve your secondary is with a better pass rush.
Yes.
The quarterback doesn't have as long to throw the ball. The cornerbacks don't have to do as much. So I think they are working to improve their secondary with this move.
Yeah, maybe they'll get someone in the draft.
They do need more cornerbacks, though. Yeah, absolutely.
I also maybe this is my Clemson bias, and Isaiah Simmons is a linebacker, but if you watch the way he played at Clemson, he was a huge help to the Clemson secondary, and I imagine the Cardinals drafted him that high because they planned on using him in this new like hybrid linebacker role, not the stereotypical NFL linebacker.
Yeah.
But that's a big transition from college to the NFL, especially for one of those hybrid style positions. I would imagine he takes a second year jump, that he looks a lot better in year 2 in that system.
He didn't look bad this year.
No, it just wasn't
Yeah.
what you expected with him being drafted that high.
Yeah.
So I think that could definitely help them out next year. Oh, and the last spot is filled. Sporty D8, or is that Sporty Date? He's got a date coming up. Joined and took over the 12 spot. Guys, this league is a standard redraft league. Like I said, it is 12 teams, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex. So instead of having that 3rd wide receiver spot, I threw 2 flexes on there. And we're going to see how the non-PPR aspect of this plays out, how it affects our decisions. Jacob Williams wants to know, what does this mean for Marlon Mack? What, the JJ Watt signing? Or
I'm guessing the format.
of the probably 1st overall, but we'll see what Brady wants to do there at the number 1 pick.
I don't mind taking him at 9.
There you go.
Marlon Mack is a good pick at 9.
Yeah, I'm going to put myself on the bottom down here since I'm not drafted. I'm going to be commentating. But before we jump in, let's see where all you guys are drafting from. JL, you are drafting from the 2 spot, it looks like. Josh from the 6, and Lance, you are drafting from the 9. Boy Goods down there drafting from the 9 spot. So you guys won't be sniping each other's picks too much, or at least there's a couple picks in between.
Well, in my mind, there's kind of I can make it 6 or 7 players that I really want in this draft. So I'm happy to get the 6th pick here.
Kev says bird up.
Bird up, Kev.
If you guys are ready, I say we get going. I'm going to provide commentary on the draft as we go. If you guys want to give a little bit of insight into your picks as you make them, go ahead and do that as well, and we'll get the draft going. 60 seconds per pick. We upped it from the 30 that it was last week when we did the mega 16-team draft, so we can take some of that stress away. Oops, that is the draft.
Everyone knows it's a standard redraft, not super flex. So, only need 1 quarterback.
Yep.
Keep it in mind. Here we
What's the first pick here? Is it the first pick that's been in all of our non-super flex drafts?
Yes.
I think it should be.
Yep.
I think it should be.
CMC, baby.
Yes.
I guess you can make an argument away from CMC just because he catches so many footballs, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
matter.
feel like, he doesn't lose points per catch, so.
No.
I agree. CMC would be the guy I'd be locking here, even if it's standard.
Yep.
That'd be a funny format. Minus half a point per reception. Like if you got subtracted points, that would be really bizarre. You got 20 seconds, Brady. Oh, are we going to start with an auto pick?
He might not be.
Start him with a defense.
There's a kicker.
Man, I swear, JL, if CMC falls to you at the 2nd pick and you just get to start your draft like that.
You swear what? What are you going to do?
I don't know, just be a little annoyed by it. Swamp says, another news, my guy Drew Brees is working out like he isn't going to retire. Saquon Barkley with the first pick. You know what? I can see the argument for that. I think people are forgetting, especially in a redraft league, standard redraft league. This is the format where if you're going to vary like that on that first pick, you could do it with a guy like Saquon. Derrick Henry at the 3. That's another guy I think you could consider at the 1 spot and a standard, but I'd still go CMC. I'm just making the argument for others.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
5 running backs to start the draft. Josh, are you going to continue the trend?
It's actually really upsetting.
Lance, were you hoping for JT to fall to you?
I was sitting there. I was like, I see JT on the board. I love JT. He's like one of my favorites. And he's gone.
You weren't going to get JT, let me tell you that much. I was planning on taking JT. Now I'm in a position where there's 2 guys I really like. And I'm not sure if I should go. I don't want to give it away. The other guy,
he's probably not making it back to you.
No. It's just, I'm trying to decide which one I like more in a standard redraft league. I'm going to go with Kamara.
FF Big Willie says, thought he would be gone. JT is Beatty.
That's a nice pick there at the 5. JT is
standard
Beatty.
League. I would have taken him at 3. Personally, standard redraft.
I like that Kamara pick.
Josh goes Kamara at 6.
I was deciding between Nick Chubb and Kamara.
Oh, Nick Chubb is gone. Oh.
There goes the first wide receiver, Devonte Adams. So we started off with 7 running backs, followed by Devonte Adams. And Lance, you are on the clock now.
Yeah, so now I'm deciding who I want here. All the running backs I loved are gone.
I wanted one of those 7. That's why I said going in. I wanted one of these 7 running backs. So
yeah, it's gonna start this draft.
Oh damn! Jordan said my computer froze when I went to get the 12 pick. Shoot. Next week you're jumping in there. I'll get the link to you in the Discord earlier than I did today.
I'll go this week, right?
Jordan's coming on Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So Lance, you went with Tyreek Hill.
Going with Tyreek Hill. He's very explosive wide receiver. if I can't grab a running back, I'll go with the second receiver off the board.
I like that pick a lot. It's probably who I would have gone with too. I think he's best value on the board at that point.
I might have gone Zeke, but I think I'm higher on Zeke than most people are right now. I think I'm a little bit higher on him. I group him in with that previous tier of running backs instead of the next one. But I understand there's a bit of risk there. So after the first round, there were 2 wide receivers taken in Devonte Adams and Tyreek Hill, one by our boy Lance right here. But then besides that, it was 10 running backs off the board. And the second round starting with 3 more running backs, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, and DeAndre Swift to start the second. To start the second round.
The Swift hype is real.
It's very real. This is putting a lot of pressure on me now because I know if I don't take a running back here, I will not be getting any running backs. So now I have to kind of stretch for somebody that I like, which I didn't want to do, but I'm kind of have to. I'm just gonna do it.
I was about to say Aaron Jones is still there. I didn't realize he was.
Cam Akers.
Yeah. I like that pick a lot right there. I do.
There we go. I think the upside with him is unreal. We got a lot of people saying Zeke at 10 in redraft is a steal.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
JB says Zeke's so disrespected. He's going to be top 5 in redraft.
Finished or ADP?
I think he's saying finish. I would assume.
I can 100% agree that Ezekiel Elliott, he's been his whole career for fantasy football has been super consistent.
Yeah, straight consistent.
Just last year, really.
Even last year was pretty decent, but I think just because of the second half of the season and what happened kind of hurt his value. He is worth that 10th pick.
Yeah, completely agree. Julian says JL, you and him have the same draft process. You guys are the same.
He kept sniping me when we did our Prize Picks league. It was like the only one
I remember you keep saying that to me.
Yeah.
Josh, Swamp wants to know if you have JT over Cook going into next year for redraft.
Yeah.
Across all formats?
In a standard league, I would take JT over Cook. In a redraft where there's PPR involved, I might take Cook. Because
it's that close for you, though.
Yeah, I think I think Cook's going to have more catches than JT next year.
You were up, Josh.
For sure. Yeah, but they're very close, very close. Cook's a little bit more guaranteed, but his injury history does scare me a little bit, too.
Jordan says it's all about TDs in standard, and he feels like DJ Chark will end up being a mid-round steal in standard leagues.
I think he'll be a steal in most formats.
Yeah, I agree. All the LaVisca truthers will get mad if we say Chark's going to have a good season.
LaVisca will be a great value, too.
I do, too.
Not mutually exclusive.
Man, but Twitter makes you take sides. Are you Visca or are you Chark? You gotta plant your flag. They won't let you say, yeah, well, I think it could be both. Oh, you sniped Z2, Lance. He said you took his guy. That Cam Akers pick.
Oh man, everyone took my guy, so I had to do the same thing.
We got one team starting off double
7 seconds.
wide receiver.
That's a powerhouse there. Najee Harris. Yes, I like that.
I like
pick.
that. Yeah, that's a really good pick.
I like him better in standard too.
Yeah, that's pretty high. That's probably I don't know how much higher he could go based on his landing spot. I can't think of a running back needy team that high in the draft that could make his draft cost go up higher than the middle of the second round. What about you guys? Can you think of a team that he could land on where you would push him above some of these guys ahead of him, ahead of Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones?
Cardinals.
Najee Harris landing on the Cardinals or Josh Jacobs on the Raiders?
Najee
Harris.
Najee Harris, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I think I would probably go Jacobs, but that's I get it. Yeah.
Close.
I'll be honest. For Jacobs, I had him last year in a keeper league, and I literally woke up in cold sweats, dreaming seeing Devonte Booker on the field stealing touchdowns, and that kind of it scared me since.
That's so funny.
I've seen too much of Devonte Booker this year on the field that I'm kind of staying away from Josh Jacobs at this moment.
I get it. Yeah. There's you would think by now they would have started utilizing him as that full 100% workhorse guy if they were going to, but they're working in these other guys quite a bit.
And
some other teams real fast. The Seahawks, the Steelers,
the Bills,
Steelers would be unreal for Najee. I feel like they love single workhorse, and they were hurting this year whenever they weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
We had 2 more wide receivers go: DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. Swamp grabbing AJ Brown out there. And then Miles Sanders. So a Derrick Henry, Miles Sanders start for that team. And John Luke is on the clock. Where are you going to go after your CMC pick at 2?
I thought Josh Jacobs was still there. So
I know, yeah, he went 112.
That is something that is news to me.
You're ready to go, huh?
I was ready to go.
Jacob says Visca because of the hair. Ricky Butt says Visca. Jay Wall says I'm higher on Chenault than Chark for sure.
No, it's gonna pick for me now.
Oh,
ugh.
Well, you got Travis Etienne.
Whoa.
There you go. Calvin Ridley followed by Travis Etienne.
I forgot that Brady was on auto, and I can't turn off auto from my desktop.
What's funny is Brady just turned off auto right after those picks.
Brady, you sneaky minx.
So he got you. It was all part of his strategy. Ricky wants to know what happens to DK's value if Russ gets moved.
It plummets.
I 100% agree with that.
Yep.
The connection
value is tied to Russell Wilson in my mind pretty hard.
100%. The connection they have, I just can't see another quarterback coming in and being able to do that.
Yeah, no one's Russ, right?
I mean, I don't think he'll become like totally irrelevant, but tanks for sure. Like in relativity, right? He's gonna go way down in terms of just like short term value, but long term he's still very talented.
Well, Stephon Diggs just went. Wow.
Oh man, yeah, that's talking about value.
Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I am so high on Stephon Diggs this year because everyone else that I'm looking at, like Devonte Adams, I believe potentially they are gonna sign another receiver to come in. I think it might be Will Fuller. Everyone else has someone that can nitpick at their targets, but I don't feel like there's gonna be someone that's gonna take Stephon Diggs targets. Oops.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think if anything happens, maybe Gabriel Davis could step up a little bit over there, but I don't think it's going to eat into Stephon Diggs' value at all.
Yeah, he was so elite. He was super elite this year.
Is that a reach for ETN? It's so hard to figure out where.
I would have taken Clyde there personally.
With him, without knowing his landing spot, yes, that's probably a reach, but I don't know. Dynasty, I've said this before, you guys, but Dynasty has messed up my perspective on rookies in redraft leagues. I consistently overvalue them. And then this year I overcorrected and didn't draft any of them in redraft for the most part, except in our one industry league that we were in. And I missed out on some value. So
we went heavy rookie then.
We went all in on the rookies in that league. JB wants to know, do you guys think Akers will have the backfield mostly to himself if Henderson stays healthy? Lance, since you were the Akers drafter, I'll pass this one to you.
I honestly do. If you look at the history of Sean McVay and the LA Rams, he really wants one very consistent RB. You've seen what he did with Todd Gurley. They left, right, and said they want to run the ball. It sets up their play action. And he's already been speaking that Sean McVay said that Cam Akers is every down back. And I don't think he would say that if he didn't believe it or if he's really meant it. So I do believe, yes, he's going to own the backfield.
Okay. I tend to agree with you. And I think even as long as he's healthy, and what he showed at the end of last year had me so excited. I was hyped about him coming in just because of what he did behind that awful Florida State offensive line. I figured with any semblance of an O-line in the NFL, we'd have a superstar, but I'm excited to see what he does next year.
Ooh, 15 seconds. Oh, come on. I'm thinking. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that's my bad.
No, it's okay.
I can pause it if you need me to.
No, I'm going to have to do this. I'm just going to do it.
I like it.
It's a good pick. You
think he stays in Tampa, or he's going to end up on a new team?
I think Jefferson was a good pick too.
Oh, that's what I was looking for, to be honest.
Hey, I don't fault you though.
Justin,
they deserve to go in the same range, probably in redraft.
Value.
Z2 says zero wide receiver strat in full effect right now.
I love it.
That's Z2. I think that's someone else.
No, that is Z2. He told us this is Z2. This is his second Twitch account.
He's got a burner.
What's up, Z2?
So he's driving from the 3 spot. Derrick Henry, Miles Sanders, James Robinson. The chosen 123 iced is also going the 0 wide receiver strategy right now. Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery to start their draft.
Hey, I have 0 wide receiver.
Are you? Oh, you grabbed Kittle. Yeah, so Kittle went almost a full round after Travis Kelce. Do you guys prefer Kelce in the second or Kittle in the third?
Kittle in the third for me.
Kittle in the third.
Kittle in the third.
I'll stand alone as Kelsey in the second.
Tight end 19 with 8 games.
I think Kelsey will get more catches too, typically on a season, and might have more yards, and that could be more beneficial in standard.
That's a great value on Dobbins there, Jay Wall.
Dude, Dobbins is still there?
Yeah,
in the 4th round.
I did not.
Dobbins just went. Oh no!
Are you kidding, man?
I didn't see that. Oh man!
Once I realized I regretted taking ETN because I probably would have taken Dobbins instead there.
Yeah, that's great value on him then if you consider him at the beginning of the 3rd.
Like a steal.
Yeah, I love Dobbins. I love if this was half point PPR, oh man, I'll definitely make sure Dobbins is on my team.
You went with Chris Carson instead, though. That's 2 players in a row. Do you think he stays in Seattle, or is Chris Carson going to be on a new team next year?
I think he's going to be on a new team next year, to be honest. Unfortunately, yeah. I would if he stays in Seattle, this value right here is exactly where you draft him. He's perfect. He has big games, but
yes,
now we don't know where he's going to be, and that can change everything.
Absolutely. I completely agree with everything you just said. If he's still in Seattle, this is a great spot for him. If he's not, which I don't expect him to be, we don't really know. It depends, doesn't it? I guess. We'll see.
Schmidt wants to know why Hunter Renfrow hasn't been drafted yet. Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver 1. Josh, you get on that real quick, okay?
He'll go right after Marlon Mack goes. Marlon Mack scored too, so I mean, geez.
Jordan says, I don't think Green Bay has the money to go get Fuller and fill other holes they have.
Fuller and Phil.
Yeah, after they sign Phil, they'll have no room for Fuller.
Wow, Keenan Allen 4.6. Oh man, the ultimate disrespect.
For real. Oh,
I didn't even know he was still on the board.
Every time. There's a 3rd rookie. Josh, you took another rookie running back.
Yep, Javonte Williams, who I've heard things where he could be as high as actually the first running back drafted in the NFL draft.
Hype is definitely getting up there.
I mean, I've dug into some of the film and I am impressed.
He's a monster. He just wants to run everybody over. That's what he loves to do. Just wants to run everybody over. I was looking at him at my spot, but because I don't know where he's gonna go, I was like, okay, let's not take him here. Let's take someone I kind of know what they are in the NFL. But that's a great pick.
JB says Javonte runs like Chris Carson.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see him in the NFL, I think. I think if he gets drafted by a team that's going to give him the workload, he is going to have a hell of a fantasy season next year.
Josh, where would you like him to go? Where would make you smile?
So I mentioned some guys earlier. I think we were talking about Najee, and it's very similar places. You know, it's Seattle, especially if Chris Carson leaves, Russell Wilson's still there, Pittsburgh, the Bills, Miami. Miami is a really good spot. And I know they have Gaskin, but I think a runner like Javonte Williams or Najee Harris in Miami would do really well.
Yeah, because you know that whoever's in the backfield, they want to just run guy, and they're gonna give it to that one person.
Absolutely.
I'm nervous about whichever running back. It seems inevitable that the Bills sign or draft another piece for that backfield, and that whole situation makes me so nervous. Like, unless it becomes very clear early that is their lead guy and they've just got complementary pieces. I could easily see it becoming this gross 3-headed Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, plus the rookie they drafted situation.
That does sound gross.
Yeah.
Super gross.
We had our first quarterback get drafted, Kyler Murray, as the first quarterback off the board in the 4th round.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
love it. Surprising.
Number 1 overall is in the range of outcomes for Kyler Murray. Like, pretty easily in the range of outcomes. I'm not saying it's likely that it's like he'll likely finish over Mahomes or some of these other guys. Brady says, I hate my team. I think he auto drafted the first 3 guys. So it's all about the comeback. This is a 4th quarter kind of team.
Now it's upside. All upside. Kyler Murray's that. I mean, Josh Allen was the number 1 overall quarterback this year. So absolutely Kyler Murray can do it.
Jalen says, I always look way down because sleeper ADP is whack. Yeah, right now it'll probably get better as we get closer, but there's some dudes that are just hidden on there. And there goes Scary Terry. Sorry, Josh. I don't know if you were targeting him.
I'm always targeting him in this range, but I guess I never end up with him.
We had 2 more tight ends taken off the board in the 4th round, Darren Waller and Mark Andrews back to back. I think that's probably about the right range for those guys. Is Darren Waller your number 3 tight end? All of you guys, Kelsey Kittle, and then is Waller number 3?
Not in standard.
Not in standard?
He is for me.
Who's your number 3 tight end in standard? John Luke?
Who I took, Mark Andrews.
Oh, you took Mark Andrews.
Yep.
Very nice.
Touchdown guy.
That's very true. That actually, you know what? I like that. I love that pick. That is true. He's for standard. You definitely want Mark Andrews because he's guaranteed touchdowns.
Yeah, I feel like Waller would definitely be. I feel like is a solid tight end 3 in PBR. But yeah, standard it flips a little bit for me.
I think I'd still go Waller just because of the volume. Like I know that he doesn't get a point per reception, but I'm just going to take that guaranteed. Random name says that's because Allen is an effing stud. Well, maybe Kyler Murray does it this year. Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback off the board. John Luke took him. You went tight end and quarterback fairly early.
That was going to surprise you.
You never go either one early. So let's see how your team shakes out. DJ Moore in the 5th round. That's good value on DJ Moore. The more and more I look into it, the more and more excited I am for DJ Moore. Again.
I'm on the clock. Holy crap.
You're on the clock? No, Swamp is on the clock.
Imagine that Deshaun Watson goes to Carolina.
It says I'm on the clock.
Oh my God.
I don't know why.
Where does he go? Like in between which picks does he go if he goes to Carolina? Do you think? Like where will his ADP be by the end?
I don't know why it's not loading.
If this is confirmed, he's going top 3 rounds for sure.
Top 3. Okay, wow.
Is
he first QB off the board in your mind?
Oh, Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
I'll still take Pat Mahomes over him.
Mm-hmm.
I would potentially take Josh Allen over him. I'll probably take Deshaun Watson over Kyler Murray, though.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I would probably take Deshaun over Josh Allen, but I feel like that's more of just like personal preference than I actually think he'll, is likely to finish.
Yeah.
JB says refreshing to see a redraft. Been so inundated with Dynasty madness. Yeah, this is Dynasty season. There's a ton of Dynasty stuff out there. Jordan says, as a Carolina Panthers fan, I will sell anything for Watson. Oh, me too, man. I'll sell anything for that man.
I 100% agree. He is top 5 in the league.
As Brady says, Deshaun Watson fan, I will also sell anything just to be friends with Deshaun Watson. Get the word out.
Brady said Diggs should be wide receiver 4, bare minimum.
I 100% agree.
And then Jacob says Waller is the target hog and Mandrews is the TD guy.
Yep, completely agree.
So I'll take the safety. I think the consistency of Waller is worth a little bit more to me.
How many touchdowns did Waller have last year? I have no idea. I would assume he had a decent amount, right? Like 7, 8, 9.
Let's look it up. I spelled stats wrong.
It's right. It's right here in Sleeper. He had 9.
It's decent touchdowns.
Yeah, no rushing touchdowns for Darren Waller, believe it or not.
What? Actually, if there's a tight end to get a rushing touch, it's probably Kittle, but after him,
maybe Waller. We had our first running back of round 5 taken with Kenyon Drake. There seemed people depleted the running backs early and then started going other directions. A couple quarterbacks taken in there. Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson in that order. What do you guys think about Kenyon Drake going into next year?
I don't love it. Doesn't make me feel good.
Jamar Chase went after Kenyon Drake, our first rookie wide receiver off the board.
Hey, T. Higgins.
And then Melvin Gordon. Lance, you drafted Melvin Gordon.
Yes, I needed some depth of running back, and I was looking everywhere, and I was like, it's so depleted. I'm like, Melvin Gordon I like Philip Lindsay more, but I'm like, I know he's going to get the work, so I'm like, I need something as a third RB, just in case of injuries.
No, I completely agree.
Ricky says 9. Take that as you will.
That's 9 touchdowns for Waller.
Oh, God. I completely forgot the conversation. I thought he was just letting us know 9.
Mark Andrews had 7 last year, even with an inconsistent year. Yeah, 10 the year before. So,
right. I think there's a good chance that Andrews beats out Waller on a touchdown basis. But look at the yardage totals on a game log. I bet Waller's yardage totals per game are a bit more consistent than Mark Andrews, just because of the style of offense.
And that's why I've taken him higher in PPR for sure.
Yeah. Jordan says, don't get the CMC rumors. I can't see why Houston would want a running back that would be 27 before they're relevant. Completely agree.
It would make no sense for them, but they have made many transactions recently that make no sense. So
that's true.
Let's see.
Can we trust them?
Justin Jefferson went in the 3rd round, towards the end of the 3rd round. And it wasn't until the end of the 5th round, the 5-10. So 2 rounds later that we had our next 2020 rookie wide receiver taken in T. Higgins. And then in the 6th round, CeeDee Lamb. Do you think that's an appropriate gap between those guys? These kind of like breakout 2020 wide receivers, 2 full rounds between Jefferson and Higgins, and then an additional like 5 picks before Lamb.
I don't know. I think that that's a bit probably reactionary to the hype and the years that they had. Like T. Higgins' year was excellent, but it didn't get as much hype because it wasn't quite as good as Justin Jefferson, and
which was unreal. Yeah.
And so I think they'll probably finish closer than that, but I think where Higgins and Lamb is going is even a little bit low. They should lower, right? They should I think they should probably even be going higher.
I agree with you. I think once draft season starts and everyone's drafting and the ADP does change, right, I expect these guys to be you won't be able to make a team with Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, CeeDee Lamb. I don't think that's gonna be possible. Right. I think you're gonna have to choose one of the 3, because when the hype starts up again, they're not gonna be. You're not getting CeeDee Lamb in the 6th round.
I didn't realize they were all on the same team.
Yeah, me neither.
It's like all rookies.
He said, "Hey, those are all my picks."
They're good picks, really good picks.
Yeah. JB says Lamb's going to eat with Dak back.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
The J Wall team is 5 out of 6 is all 2nd-year players. I love it.
And then Zeke, criminally value on Zeke. So I love it. It might be my favorite team so far. I haven't really looked at the other teams.
I did need Cortland Sutton, Z2. I needed him.
Ooh, I love Sutton. That's a really good pick.
I love my 2 wide receivers, getting them in the 5th and 6th round. 2 good standard league wide receivers in my mind. Big guys, go up and get it.
Big guys, go up and get it. No, I love the Galladay pick. I was considering between him and Mahomes, my pick.
I want to ask.
Sorry, go ahead, Lance.
So I just want to ask you guys something. I don't know if you guys noticed, Kyle Pitts is the 5th tight end off the board. I love the hype here. How do you guys feel about Kyle Pitts?
Too early.
Too early?
I'm excited. I'm excited for Kyle Pitts. Like, that is the player. I can't remember a college player that wasn't on Clemson that I got more excited watching, like from like an unbiased perspective, than
Jordan Leggett.
Kyle Pitts in such a long time. Like he's just a monster on the football field, absolute monster. But that being said, it's still hard for tight ends to break out their rookie year. It doesn't happen very often. And so I'm nervous drafting a rookie tight end this high up in a redraft league. Now, that being said, he is more of the Evan Ingram style tight end, like a receiving tight end, not so much a blocking tight end. So it should make the transition a bit easier. Still too nervous for me to even draft him in the top 10 tight ends in a redraft league.
I am so hurt right now. I didn't even know this player was still on the board. I would have took him so.
You did not overdraft anyone, Z2.
AJ Dillon. I don't know if you guys seen, but this AJ Dillon, to me, I think he's gonna break out this year. I think he's gonna be an RB1. He's gonna be part of the top 12. I'm bold. I honestly believe if you look at the specimen of human that AJ Dillon is, 6'1", 250 pounds. I guarantee you that Aaron Jones won't be coming back. Maybe Jamal Williams, but I think that's very unlikely. He might have this great backfield this offense is so efficient, and he can be the lead rusher in that backfield. We've seen Aaron Jones finish top 2 and 5. I think he can do it.
Z2 did say about that pick, I'm about to overdraft a running back. So you don't think he overpaid then, Lance? You think that's a fine spot to draft AJ Dillon and redraft?
If you can get him later, I would always try to get him later. But I think the potential of him, what he can do, it's fine taking him at the 6th pick. We're really running low, and right now you want to get the most upside possible. And I think getting AJ Dillon here is not a bad pick.
Yeah, he's not going to be this low if Aaron Jones isn't there. He's going to be a lot.
He's not making it back. Well, he might make it back to you in the next round, but he's not making it back to the 8th.
So I have a question. Do you think that A.J. Dillon will finish higher than David Johnson?
Yes.
You think he'll finish higher than...
If Aaron Jones is not there.
Okay, let's say Aaron Jones is not there. Do you think he'll finish higher than Kenyon Drake? Depending where Kenyon Drake goes to.
Yes.
You said we're assuming Aaron Jones is there or isn't there?
Isn't there. Is not there. This is the A.J. Dillon show.
Versus who? I'm sorry.
Versus David Johnson.
A.J. Dillon.
I'll take A.J. Dillon over David Johnson.
What about over Kenyon Drake?
Yes.
What about over Kareem Hunt?
No.
Yes.
No, you won't take him over Kareem Hunt?
No, I'll take Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
I'll take A.J. Dillon.
I would take A.J. Dillon.
In standard?
In standard.
I guess in standard that makes it a little bit trickier, but I think I'll still go the safe or what I view as like something I've seen. Know what I mean? I'll take the what I've seen from Kareem Hunt. He proved a lot to me this past year, but yeah, I've got no problem with valuing him above those guys.
I think he starts going in like the 3rd round if that's the situation he walks into as the season gets closer.
Yeah, and when I was watching his game against Tennessee, and you just see flashes of an RB1. You can see when he had the workload in that game in the snow, he just looked like a beast.
Yeah. Plus, I relate to him because he's got those tree trunk legs, and I got the same shit. Thighs are like too thick.
Jail's calves are like looks like he's been doing nothing but calf workouts for the last 20 years.
Every day.
Schmid wants to know our thoughts on the value of Antonio Brown if Tampa Bay decides to keep him and move on from Godwin. Where are you drafting Antonio Brown if that's the case? If he's the wide receiver too on that team.
Redraft, huh?
Yeah, redraft.
11th, 12th round, maybe.
That low?
Yeah,
a lot higher.
I think quite a bit higher. He's like a low-end wide receiver 2 for me. If he's there and Godwin isn't, he's like top 20, 24 wide receiver for me. Josh?
I'm looking at the board. I'm like, where would he fit in my mind? If Godwin's not there and they don't sign anyone else, I mean, they still have other options. Obviously, they got Mike Evans,
Miller,
tight ends. They got Scotty Miller. They got Tyler Johnson, right? Yeah, rookie. So they got other options. But Tom Brady likes Antonio Brown. He's gonna have a really good year. I'll probably take him around that Kenny Galladay area right after him.
Yeah, I don't think that's too ridiculous. Probably still a little bit higher than I would take him, but yeah, I think that's the range where he's going to be drafted if that's the case. Tim says Dillon is a monster, and then Jacob says AJ Dillon is the quad father. And Ricky's got a comment on the Pitts situation. He said, I don't mind taking a shot on Pitts after those 4 tight ends, simply because there aren't any other locks, but there are just too many good wide receivers left on the board to take him that early, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a risk. I would probably rather have CeeDee Lamb, than take that risk and just like there's a chance that he breaks out. He's incredible, but even like I think that chance is pretty low compared to where CeeDee Lamb's going to finish. I don't think he'll be anywhere close to that.
Dude, but if Pitts hits, then in the 6th round,
that he would have to have an incredible season. Like everything would have to go right. You'd have to find the right landing spot. They'd have to use him in the right way, and he'd have to adjust properly. I think he can, but it would just all those things have to happen in order for that outcome. And I think that's less likely than the rest of these guys in the 6th round.
I tend to agree. There's risk, but some people are willing to take on that risk for a talent like Pitts, which we haven't seen at the tight end in a long time.
Yeah, I think I took Pitts in one of our other mock drafts pretty early. I think I reached on him. That might have been
Dynasty League, though. Yeah, he deserves to go pretty darn early.
Jacob wants to know if John Luke is the actual quad father.
AJ Dillon's my son.
Yep.
He's the quad son.
Yep.
Lance, you just took Devonte Parker there in the 7th round. You still believe he can get something done down there in Miami?
Honestly, I didn't know. See, the thing is the ADP right now, and I seen Robbie Anderson go at 7-11. I was hurt because I would have rather took Robbie Anderson over Devonte Parker. But I believe he can still be the one here in Miami. unless they bring someone in that can overtake him. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Devonte Parker as the number one.
Yeah, I think he may be I hate when people use this term, but like a post-hype sleeper, like where people were high on him last year after he kind of broke out the year before. And then he really disappointed this year, but he was going between two quarterbacks, one of them a rookie adjusting to the NFL. Like Devonte Parker could step up and have a really good year next year as the one on that team.
Yeah, okay this year.
I think the only thing with Devonte Parker is he has burned a lot of people for so many years. Like you've drafted Devonte Parker and he's been not what you wanted. Then he had that breakout season, and then you drafted him, and then he did exactly what you thought he would do again, not give you what you wanted. So I can understand why people wouldn't want to take him.
I should have been careful, guys. The people who love Preston Williams love Preston Williams. And we got Jacob in here saying Preston effing Williams, guys. We're forgetting about Preston Williams. No, Preston Williams is an awesome talent. He could definitely step up as well. A little quarterback run going on right here.
The quarterback run has begun.
Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott.
I wanted to quickly circle back to the conversation about Pitts too. Is not only does everything have to go right for him, but he has to get enough touchdowns to be worth that in standard. Whereas I think that's even more difficult to do for a rookie tight end versus like getting a lot of catches, getting a lot of yardage, getting that many touchdowns that first year is going to be tough.
100% agree.
Schmid makes the point. We don't know until we know. Hashtag Pitts. That could be hashtag fantasy football.
Hashtag rookies.
Hashtag rookies.
But I will say, just playing devil's advocate, I agree with everything you guys have said. Kyle Pitts is more like a wide receiver than most tight ends ever have been. You know, So maybe it helps them transition and they just get him on the field just to catch some passes. I still think it's probably a little early, but I mean, his ceiling is through the roof.
There's still a guy who hasn't been drafted yet who, I'd much rather have over Pitts.
Hawk. TJ Hawkinson.
Oh my God, he's still there.
Yeah. But I still think he's going to be a much better PPR tight end, TJ Hawkinson, than standard. I think
we don't know
he's going to be a safety blank.
Jay Wall says, I'm an Eagles fan, so taking 3 Cowboys hurts my heart a little. I get that, but it's fantasy. Building the best team. And then at least it won't be too devastating if the Eagles put up a good game. Jordan wants to know, if we hear Pitts is going to Carolina, where would we draft Kyle Pitts? Does that change around what range you're drafting him if he's on the Carolina Panthers?
It depends if they have a QB, like if it's Teddy Bridgewater or not, I think.
Yeah, I think there's some more things that need to shake out there first, but
yeah, if it's Teddy Bridgewater's, but if it's Deshaun Watson, this is a different conversation.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad landing spot at all. It's just a matter of like, is it going to be great versus just good?
JB thinks Miami's going to bring in a real wide receiver one. He likes Preston and Parker, but they need a true one. I feel like there's been so many rumors about positions being filled for the Dolphins. Like if they're going to go after Aaron Jones, like a big name marquee running back, or they're going to spend draft capital on one of those guys, or grab a different quarterback. It seems I haven't heard them connected to too many of these wide receiver rumors, but I have heard some Godwin to there. That would be interesting. Yeah, it ruins Parker's value. I don't know. What do you guys think? If they bring in a wide receiver one, are you even touching Parker and redraft? Like a Chris Godwin. Let's say Chris Godwin goes to Miami.
Well, Chris Godwin is a slot receiver. Yeah. So they could balance each other out a little bit, maybe. So Chris Godwin's actually a scenario where maybe it helps him a little bit, maybe. So I'm touching him still.
Jordan says specifically the wide receiver aspect. I'm guessing he's referring to Pitts to the Carolina Panthers still. That's going to make it easier for him to adjust to the NFL for sure, that he can just line up as a receiver. Oops, I didn't mean to switch us.
Who I'm excited about to see what he does this year is Curtis Samuel.
New team.
Yep.
Should be.
I'm pretty indifferent to see what he does this year. I think he's going to be about what he was on the Panthers somewhere else. Like
he's just one of those guys where it just seems like his hype and value oscillate so much. Like it's like, oh damn, he's so good. He's incredibly talented. Like it's about to happen. And then it's just like, drop him to the waivers.
Tim wants the Dolphins to draft Chase and Harris or ETN. As a Dolphins fan, that would be a fun young offense to watch if they drafted all those guys. We just finished up the 8th round. There were 4 quarterbacks taken, so now there have been 9 quarterbacks taken total. And TJ Hawkinson finally went in the 8th round. That seems like a value on TJ Hawkinson. And Cortland Sutton went like 2 full rounds before Jerry Jeudy. Do all of you guys think Cortland Sutton's the wide receiver 1 coming back into next year? Like he'll do better than Jeudy?
I think so. I personally think so. And especially in a standard league, I think he's more suited to, not get as many catches, but get those big catches and more touchdowns. Maybe Jerry Jeudy might end up with more catches. So I definitely think so. I don't know what you guys think.
I agree. I feel that Cortland Sutton's a bigger receiver. He has more likely of a chance of scoring touchdowns compared to Jerry Jeudy. So, and we've seen how Cortland Sutton was with for a bit with Drew Lock. So,
yeah.
Swamp thinks he's about to get a good tight end value. We might disagree. He grabbed Logan Thomas there in the 9th round.
Ooh, that is a great pick. I love that.
Yeah. 3rd overall tight end last year, right? But he's more of a PPR tight end.
That is true.
Yeah. There's another guy who I like a lot here.
I'm up.
Or 2 guys, actually, I like here at tight end.
Jacob says Jerry Jeudy's role is to help Sutton stay open.
I agree.
I don't know how much. I need to look back into it this year. I know the drops were bad for Jerry Jeudy, but the quarterback throwing him the ball was also god-awful. So I need to go back and watch some more, see how much of that was Judy's fault and how much was Luck's fault. Samuel gets open so often, but has never had a QB that shows that off. That's from Jordan.
Very true.
We'll see where he lands. And they've used him in all sorts of weird ways. We'll see if the next team he's on uses him in the running game as well. Brady says, I want to say that I don't advocate taking shots on rookie running backs in the 8th and 9th rounds. Dumb auto draft. I learned what I already know, which is get 2 RBs in the first 3 rounds, no matter what. That's how he generally likes to draft. I also in redraft like to leave with a couple running backs, but if the value falls to me, the value falls to me, and I'll take the wide receiver or the tight end that falls to me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that as well. Like, we all love to get our RBs in the first round, but if like 10 RBs go and you're taking the 11th RB and our wide receiver 1's there, aka Devonte Adams, I'd rather take the Devonte Adams. Sometimes we all have our strategies. Sometimes I just go, you know what? How the draft is going, I'm just going to follow that at some points.
Trevor Lawrence just drafted, first rookie quarterback off the board.
Let me ask you guys this: if your draft is going running back heavy like this, and do you lean into that? Do you follow that trend and try and get a running back because it's going to be, it's going to get scarce pretty soon, or do you go ahead and try and eat up that value on wide receiver side?
It depends. If there's this is where like tiers come into handy. Like if it's the end of a tier and there's still a player in that like tier 1 group that's a running back, I'll take the 7th running back off the board if they're still part of that tier for me. But if it's a tier drop and there's a tier 1 wide receiver and a tier 2 running back staring at me, I'll zag away and I'll take the wide receiver. But yeah, I'll take the 7th running back in a tier over the first wide receiver in that same tier in a redraft league, as long as it's the same tier. If that makes sense.
It does.
4 tight ends drafted here. Logan Thomas, Dallas Goedert, Noah Fant, and Hunter Henry, all taken in the 9th round.
There's Marlon.
Marlon
Mack. Welcome to the
show. Brady said, can't wait to get roasted on the draft review.
We'll go easy on you, Brady. We'll go easy on you.
Did we do a draft review for the last one?
I don't think so.
We had a busy week last week, though.
We did have a busy week last week.
What did we do last week?
We had a lot of guests. The day we were going to do the draft review, we did Family Feud.
Oh my God, that was hectic.
And then we did tiers, which took up like the whole stream. And then we had guests on Friday. Jordan says Fitzmagic to Denver would be awesome. Oh man, would that be awesome?
Oh, that'd be
Sterling.
beautiful.
It would be awesome.
Let's advocate for that. I would love that, actually.
Hold on. I got my boys jersey.
Yeah, let's go. I love it.
Just always sitting within arm's reach. Why don't I have a new jersey?
Right there, right? It's ready to go. My J.K. Dobbins is there too.
Pulls out his Fitzmagic jersey, puts it next to his desk, just in case.
Everyone grab the coolest thing you can reach from your desk.
It's probably. Oh, wait, I can't put that on straight. No, How about this?
Joe, is that a bottle of Irish cream just sitting on your desk?
Irish cream? What a weird thing to think. No, it's Centenario, Costa Rican rum.
Gotcha. Sorry, I thought it looked like a Bailey's logo or something. That's
Irish
Josh's
cream.
crystal ball.
Oh yeah, it's crystal balls.
I got a few crystal balls. I got this. It's Tiger's Eye.
Oh yeah, we lied to Jordan. We said Hunter Renfrow was going to go right after Marlon Mack, and that was Sterling Shepard and T.Y. Hilton taken.
10 seconds.
You better take
5 seconds.
It's an auto draft for me. I can already see it.
I can pause it for you if you want. Oh, never mind. I missed it.
Let it go. Oh, fine.
You got your back. Hope you like Justin Fields.
Hopefully he starts.
Yeah. Hey, if he does start, he's gonna run and he's gonna generate fantasy points because of that, right?
Where do you land on that debate, Lance? You like Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields as the QB1?
If I was going to take a QB out of these two,
yeah,
or in general,
out of these two,
for fantasy, I would be Trevor Lawrence because I know he's starting.
What about for dynasty?
Dynasty, it still would be Trevor Lawrence. I think it would be Trevor Lawrence. But if it was for me, like when I think about a rookie QB for dynasty, who I really want is Trey Lance. I think he just has all the intangibles to be a really great quarterback in the league, depending where he goes.
Right.
All depends where he goes.
JB says he's a Bears fan. Anyone have any thoughts on what QB ends up starting for the Bears?
Russell Wilson.
That would be crazy.
Russell Wilson.
If the Bears are smart, they can't find a quarterback. There's two quarterbacks out there that want to trade. There's Russell Wilson and there's Deshaun Watson. And if they give whatever they want for either one, go get it.
Yeah.
You can't figure it out otherwise.
I agree, but I have a feeling it'll be either Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles starting at quarterback for the Bears next season. I think that's the safest bet. So
gross.
Oh, 100%. J-Will wants to know, how do you guys feel about T.Y. in 2021 if he stays in Indy? What if he goes elsewhere? Not excited. I don't know if Carson Wentz is like a upgrade for him. He had a couple good games last year towards the end of the season, but I think the attention and that offense is going to shift towards those younger receivers and Jonathan Taylor. So I'm not hands off on T.Y. Hilton, but I wouldn't expect too much. Not even a wide receiver 2 season out of him.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I'm not very interested.
Oh, we got lots of people loving the Russ of the Bears. Let it be Russ, but Pace will overpay.
By the way, in a standard league, I really like Sonny Michel this late. It's a dart throw, I'm not putting a lot of draft capital into him, but he could end up with a lot of touchdowns next year. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying go out and grab Sonny Michel wherever you can, but I like him here.
And Lance, you should be able to turn off auto draft if you click on your name at the top. Then it won't auto draft your next guy.
Let me do that.
Oh, Cole Kmet.
There he goes. Brady taking Cole Kmet. I'm sure there's a slew of Cole Kmet club. Usually as soon as Cole Kmet is mentioned, there's about 10 people who just scream Cole Kmet in the comments with no further context.
Cole Kmet.
So if I'm clicking it won't do anything.
JL.
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on the computer.
Oh, you got to do it on your phone.
I did it on my phone. Okay, give me a second.
Interesting.
And Brady drafted Clemson quarterback extraordinaire Cole Stout in the 11th round. I guess you're just giving the Clemson guys a shout out in the 11th round with that.
What's up, Stout? He's probably watching right now. So
Cole Stout, yeah, for sure.
About that. What else would he be doing?
Is he even on a team?
No idea.
No, he's the quarterback.
He's on Chicago.
Oh, this says he's the quarterback's coach at Morehead State.
Oh, cool.
Getting into the coaching world early. Ricky says, I'm a Bears fan, so I won't talk.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at Cole Kmet on Chicago. Holy crap.
Swamp took Edmonds, and Rob came
here.
in here, said people are sleeping on Chase Edmonds. I just watched a video this morning from the Ball Blast podcast talking about Chase Edmonds being a potential sleeper for next year. It was a bold take saying top 15 running back. But, we were talking about Kenyon Drake earlier. If he's gone, Chase Edmonds could be the primary ball carrier in that offense. Now in standard, he's a pass catching back, so I don't know if I'm taking him as high, but yeah, people may be sleeping on Chase Edmonds. That could be a guy that has the starting job in an NFL offense that should be pretty good.
He has that upside to be a top 15 running back if they decide to give him the majority of the workload.
J-Will says I was looking for Edmonds to fall to me because I think so too.
Ooh, I like that pick.
What's the percentage you guys think Edmonds will be the starting running back for 2021 Cardinals?
3%.
Well, no, I think it's the percentage that Kenyon Drake is no longer on the Cardinals, which is more than 5%, right?
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah. It's. I think they might be looking to bring someone in, possibly.
I don't think they would let Kenyon Drake go and not bring someone else in.
It depends who that person is.
It would make the big difference there. I think it's low that he's like the main guy, because they would have been featuring him like that before, and they're just not.
He played over 50% of snaps this year, even as the backup running back. Like they do have faith in him.
They're using him,
yeah.
Not in the same way that you would expect someone that they think is a RB1.
If the question is like main ball carrier means more than 50% of the carries, I could see that percentage being way higher. Like if he's getting like 55% of the carries, I can see that being like a 10 to 15% chance that he is that guy. I mean, but yeah, if you're talking full workhorse, like he's getting 80, 90% of the carries, I see that as like a near impossibility with the type of runner that he is.
If he was on a different team, I would say it's a little bit higher too, but like they're going, they want to win. And so I can't, like, running backs are relatively cheap. I can't imagine that they wouldn't try and bolster that backfield. Like just having Chase Edmonds back there as the guy would be terrifying to me if I'm trying to make a, Super Bowl run. Every time.
Did I get distortedly loud for a second there?
Yeah, you're Josh's mic.
You did a little bit.
Yeah. I always make the same reaction every single time.
What is it? Do it for me.
Oh, Josh did the you imitation.
Wait, let's get it, Joe.
Oh, the face? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I wanted to ask you, Lance, about the Latavius Murray pick here. You think he's got some value in redraft going into next season?
Only if 106 person there gets injured by sorry Josh, if he gets injured, then he has a lot of value.
Hi. Yeah, honestly, considering that, maybe he should have been my pick, but I like having Rashard Penny a lot. I think there's a chance he's the starting running back for the Seahawks next year.
Shut your mouth, Josh. Don't you dare put my hopes up.
I said a chance, like a Chase Edmonds chance. Let's put it that way.
Z2 says he's taking an ultimate sleeper with his final pick. You ended up your draft with Jalen Hurts down there.
This is who I really wanted. So this is the court. I didn't want just another. I really wanted Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. If he's the starting quarterback in Philadelphia, I can see great things happening.
Where do you see him finishing? Like top 5, top 10, top 20?
He has the thing is he has so much potential to finish in the top 5 because he can rush the ball. He has a rushing ability, and I can get him late. And if it doesn't work out, I can just throw him to the side and grab another quarterback. That's why me personally, I'm a truther of the late round quarterback because I know if something doesn't work out, I can just go replace it.
Oh no, I didn't draft the quarterback.
That's okay. That's okay because these drafts would be a little bit longer. So it's fine they don't have a quarterback.
I'm the same way, Lance. I'm all about late round QB, despite what
Obviously,
I did today.
I am too.
Especially, in redraft, it's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make too much sense. And in a 12-team league, there's just so much value still on the board.
Exactly. And you know what? I find when you draft one of the quarterbacks earlier, you're kind of committed to them to play them. And I find it's a very emotional to, even if you know the matchup's bad, you're like, do I really want to go on the waiver wire and take a shot with one of the streamers, or do I go with my guy? And I think that's the mental strain that I don't like to have. I like to have If I don't like the matchup, I can just go, okay, I'm throwing him to the side. I'm going to go with someone has a better matchup.
Yeah, completely agree. I think you could have probably I know Justin Fields was auto draft, but realistically, if this was a real draft, I think you probably could have gotten him in like the 14th, 15th round, unless you have someone who's like really hyped on rookies this year.
Yeah. Who, Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know who I might take here if I did draft a quarterback? It might be Trey Lance, another rookie who I think is going to be a very high draft pick.
Yeah.
And can run.
Oh, yeah.
We got some people calling their shots in last round. Marshawn comeback season. It's happening. Then we had Ladainian Tomlinson, the greatest fantasy running back of all time, is apparently coming back to play for us. Alex Collins there, taken by Z2. He said it was Z2 the one who said ultimate sleeper pick coming in? Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it could happen. This actually could be that. Really? That is a sleeper pick. We don't want it to happen, but it could happen.
Good.
Don't make Alex Collins a thing again.
I know.
I love that Brady took Deion Kane. If we ever do a league with Brady, it's gonna be deadly because we're all gonna try and hoard Clemson players.
Yeah, T. Higgins going in like the first round.
You guys go right ahead. Yeah. Please do it. I'll be in
you know
that
what?
league.
It's not been a bad dynasty strategy to target Clemson wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But some people,
Hunter Renfrow is really doing really well.
You're going to ignore DeAndre Hopkins, T. Higgins. Mike Williams has been pretty good.
Oh, Mike Williams has been great. Yeah,
Martavius Bryant had some decent value out there.
Another good one.
You just immediately skip the top two. You were like, yeah, it's been great if you ignore the best wide receiver in the NFL and a superstar rookie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like my wide receiver court like that.
I don't think Devonte Adams went to Clemson.
No, but DeAndre Hopkins is arguably the best receiver in the NFL.
Best receiver.
I think you could argue that. I'm going to put this board back up for a second.
Receiver, sure. He's not like the most athletic guy in the world.
DeAndre Hopkins?
I'm not saying he's going to beat everyone in a 40-yard dash.
Josh could beat him in a race, is what he's saying. Josh could beat DeAndre Hopkins in a race. We'll try to set it up for the stream.
Matchup proof against the best DBs in the league, not athletic.
There we go. Totally. Jacob said the stud, Sammy Watkins.
Yes. Please come back this year, Sammy. We need
Tom said, hey, this is probably my second favorite team I've done so far.
I was just looking at it.
Oh, Jacob said Superflex has changed me. I went too early on Lamar in retrospect. Yeah, I think we find that whenever we do new formats and get really into them, it affects the way we draft in other formats. I was talking about earlier with Dynasty affecting my redraft.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple mock drafts ago how it's now very important to me that I leave like the first 4 rounds at least with 2 running backs, and I'm really liking that strategy. I've tried it out the last couple drafts we've done, and that's why we do this, right? It's to see what those little principles are that help you when you're drafting, when you get into the real thing.
For sure.
Yeah, it feels pretty good winning like I just did today. So
we'll see. We're gonna do a draft breakdown a little bit tomorrow. I'll be the completely unbiased source. Josh's team sucks, but besides that, I'll pick a couple of my favorites so we can run through them. Lance, any immediate thoughts when looking at this board before we jump off?
Some teams I'm like, I love them. Firstly, I wish I drafted better.
It's tough. It's tough, isn't it? Like doing the draft, talking.
You know what it is? It was because ADP when we go down the board later on, there's gonna be some guys I see here that I know you're not gonna be able to get in certain rounds.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're just like, wait, he's still on the board? Oh, that was me the whole draft. I was like, no, he was on the board. But
when you're talking, it's hard to track it as well. Like, tracking like, oh yeah, there's this guy you haven't thought about who's probably down there.
Lance, I mean, listen up. Like we've done how many of these now? We've done at
least 3,
like 15 of them, and every single draft, I'm like, he's still here. No,
yeah, you're just like, oh man, he's still here. No, I wanted him.
I missed when no one could get James Robinson, and I'd always get him in like the 5th round.
Yeah, people are wising up on that one.
Yeah, that was good. When we first started doing these. That was a good time.
Guys, if you are not already, make sure you're following Lance. He is at GT Sports FF _ Is that an ID? Just make sure that's not an L.
It's LD.
LD. Those are your initials. That makes a lot more sense. It is GT Sports FF _ LD. I'll put it in the chat as well. That way all of you guys can go give him a follow. Let me get an actual link instead of just the Twitter handle.
Trading makes fantasy fun. If you're in a dynasty league, get some trades in. I've sent out like 15 trade offers like the last week. I'm in a few different leagues, none in our league. I don't think I sent out, maybe one I did.
I accidentally sent out a trade, and then like weeks went by, and then it got accepted, and I was like, what was I thinking? It was in our league too.
Really?
So Josh, who are you targeting?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who am I targeting?
Yeah, who are you trading? Like, I would like to hear what's your early targets before they start explode.
It's all about what my team looks like. So I have teams that are more in a little bit more of a rebuild, and I have teams that are competing a little bit. So, the rebuild, I'm looking for some more draft picks. There's one league where I have 6 second-round picks and 1 first-round pick, and I don't know what to do with 6 second-round picks right now. So I'm trying to trade them, and I know they're going to gain value closer I get to the draft, so I don't want to give them away yet. But so I've been just trying to figure out stuff, maybe moving up like multiple draft picks to get another first round pick, stuff like that. But in terms of like who I'm targeting, we've talked about it a little bit, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is probably a great value. I said I was trying to sell him just because I have him in too many leagues.
Yeah.
But I think he's going what's changed, this season. He's still on the Chiefs. He still plays with Patrick Mahomes. I think he's still going to get the majority of the workload. I think he's a value right now.
Yeah.
How about you? You got some guys you're targeting?
Most of them I've got. So like because I have a dynasty league. My dynasty league my running back situation is really good in mine. I have Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook, and Aaron Jones. Yes, and we did that dynasty league. We started right before Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones exploded. So I was able to get them at a great value, 2nd round and 4th round for those guys. And then Jonathan Taylor, I got 102 because my team actually did not do well the year. But guys I'm looking for that I like, I'm looking at some 2nd-year running backs.
You guess one, AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon, I can't get. I won't be able to get in any of my leagues. Everyone knows. They know my hype already, and they're not selling to me.
Josh,
but if you can get them cheap,
So what I did in my keeper league, that was great. And I noticed in most leagues, because everyone was really not happy about what's going on with the rookies like J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, A.J. Dillon, I was able to scoop them up. They all dropped them because they weren't doing well, and I have all 3 of them on my team. And there's guys calling me now and saying, I can't believe I dropped him. Why did I drop him? And they're like, why did you pick him up? So week 16 championship week, I picked up A.J. Dillon, and they're like, why'd you pick up A.J. Dillon? And I'm like, well, you're going to find out.
You'll see.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you got to it's hard to grab scoop guys like that on the dynasty waiver wire. So that's pretty impressive. Or this is a keeper league, you said?
That one was a keeper league. So okay. I'm going to keep I don't know yet, but potentially Cam Akers and maybe my guy AJ Dillon. We'll see.
You love that 2020 running back class.
Oh yeah.
So cool. Someone else that's out there that I just see his value pretty low, and I think he could have a hell of a season next year is Deonte Johnson in a PPR league. I know he had some dropping issues, but I think you could get him for quite a good value. Another one, maybe Deebo Samuel, who I think you could get really good value if he stays healthy. I think he's going to have a really good year.
As a Niners fan, I love Deebo. So
there we go.
Yeah, that makes me. We've talked about this, but that makes me a little nervous for Ayuk. But I think Ayuk is talented enough. The more I look at it, I think they can possibly both be productive. But we'll see who's throwing him the ball. If it's going to be Jimmy G again or not, that'll change how I'm looking at that entirely. But that may mean this is the time to grab Deebo before there's that certainty about who's throwing the ball.
Because if it's Jimmy G, you kind of want Deebo Samuels.
Yeah.
If it's another quarterback that can air it out. You do want. I'd rather Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, that's a great point. That definitely could lean more on the Deebo side if Jimmy G stays there. Lance, I wanted to thank you again for coming on today. This was awesome. I think really the first guest we've had for a mock draft. I think Eric, who comes on Fridays, has come on before, but we've never done a guest for the mock draft Monday, and it was awesome hearing your insight while we went through that.
Thank you very much for having me. I love mock drafts. I definitely want to be back on here again and do some other games that you guys do, but. Simon, Josh, John, JL, John, Luke. I loved having this time. Was great, man. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great having you. It was awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
And I said it already, but I'll say it again. Make sure you guys are following him, GT Sports FF_LD. It's his initials. So make sure you guys are following him. And guys, if you enjoyed this and you want to check out our other previous mock drafts, you want to make sure you don't miss one in the future, you can follow us on or subscribe to us on YouTube at Front Yard Fantasy and also on Twitch, also Front Yard Fantasy. And then individually, you can find us on Twitter, John Luke at FYF John Luke, Josh at FYF Josh, and Simon, you guessed it, at FYF Simon. Did it do the distortion again?
No, I just like to do the face now.
Now I'm gonna get self-conscious. Every time I see you do that, I'm like back way up from my mic.
Josh does it too sometimes because you guys have the same mic. Must be a defect or something. I don't know.
Must be a really cool mic guy thing.
Must be.
Overload
mode.
Josh, I can't remember if you already said it or not, but I know you got something to say.
You really makes fantasy fun.
There we go. He said it again. Thank you, everyone. We will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you again, Lance. Adios. And I almost pressed the wrong button.
Love you guys.